Welcome to my series covering the five senses. The sense that I'm going to look at with you today is the sense of taste. The sense of taste is governed in Ayurveda by water, and through that we mean that we perceive taste through something that has some liquid element to it that comes into contact with the taste receptors on the tongue, and then from there we perceive the sense of taste. Now, you might be familiar with some diagrams that explain where on the tongue we perceive different tastes. So we've got like the classic kind of viewpoint, which is whereby in modern terms we consider the bitter taste is sometimes put right at the back of the tongue, then the sour taste on the side, the salty taste further down the side, and the sweet right at the tip of the tongue. And then in the center we have this umami taste, or deliciousness as it can be translated. The Ayurvedic version, we label it a little bit differently. We add in astringent taste right at the back of the tongue, but in modern terms that's more an action rather than a physical taste. And pungent, we put pungent in the middle, and they switch around sour and salty, keeping sweet at the bottom of the tongue. Now the reality is that our tongues are comprised of 8,000 different taste receptors, and some fantastic researchers, scientists have really looked into this, and what they're coming to understand is that yes, there are these areas where there might be minute differences to actually being able to solidly perceive these senses of taste in the tongue, but generally most areas of the tongue are covered by all these different taste receptors, so the taste isn't necessarily specific to just a specific area of the tongue. What this basically all means is that if we want to keep our taste buds really lively, really able to fully perceive the sense of taste, what we need is a really nice, bright, clear tongue. So Ayurveda gives lots of tips of how to do this. I've covered this already in one of my other YouTube videos, and that in there I talk about how to use a tongue scraper. So using a tongue scraper first thing in the morning, so you just need to use it once a day, first thing in the morning, just gently clearing the tongue from sticking it all the way out and clearing it from the back to the front, just gently pulling it across. What you're doing is you're covering all of those taste receptors, those 8,000 taste receptors, from the back to the front, just gently pulling them through. Now I say 8,000 in the tongue. Actually there are a lot in the tongue, but we also have taste receptors in the back of the throat and in the cheeks. So to take it one step further, what we need to do is then oil the mouth and the tongue. And if we use certain toothpastes which maybe have some bitter components in them, so things like neem, for example, is a really good one, and then we use a little bit of oil to swish around the mouth. Again, I covered that in that other video, to clean the mouth. What we're also doing is we're kind of nourishing and nurturing all of these taste receptors, all in the tongue, in the mouth, and then that means that we can get good conduction from those receptors down through the nerves that then send the message to our brain so that we can get this full perception of the tastes. And we can ask, why is this important? Well, first of all, it makes life far more pleasurable, because if we can taste things, that brings a huge sense of joy and fulfillment to our lives. We get can get a lot of pleasure from eating, and so the more we can fully perceive our sense of taste, that's a wonderful thing. But also in Ayurveda we understand that all these different tastes have special actions on the body. So we want these receptors to be really open and ready to receive all of these different little molecules that come into contact with them, because that's when we get other benefits. And then also they give us warning signs as well. Nature provided, we're in conjunction, in symbiosis with the nature surrounding us, and they give us warning signals of when something doesn't quite taste right, and then there's that natural rejection of it. So in order to keep all of this taste really well activated, what we need is to really be experiencing in our meals the 6 tastes. So according to Ayurveda, this is slightly different. We label the 6 tastes to be sweet, sour, salty, bitter, pungent and astringent. Those 6 tastes are what we need in each and every meal. And then we understand that that then stimulates all these different areas in the tongue. So what we don't want though is an overload of any of these one tastes. So there is anyway a bit of a predominance in a lot of our diet and vegetables of the astringent taste along with the sweet taste. So we are always going to get a bit more of those tastes involved, but we also need the other tastes to come through and not to overburden the system too much with, for example, the sweet taste. If we're just eating a lot of sweet stuff all the time, we know that that's not conducive to great health. So what we're looking for is really these full six tastes, and exploring and finding in life, in fruits and vegetables and grains and pulses and everything, and even meats and fish, all of these different things that can provide this full range of taste profiling. I hope you found this video interesting. I'm going to be covering the different senses in the course of time, so look out for those videos. Feel free to like this if you enjoyed it. Feel free to check out the video about how to tongue scrape, and let me know any feedback that you've got in relation to it. Thanks for watching.